possible to ask a question before you go any further?
Yeah.
Would it be possible to confirm under what legislation this meeting is taking place tonight? Whether it's the Public Bodies Act of 1960 or whether it's the Local Government Act of 1972?
The meeting's taking place under the Local Government Act 1972.
Okay.
Certain aspects of it are governed by the 1960 Act. So.
Okay.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll Right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue. So, item 6, Town Council meetings. To approve the minutes of the council meetings on the 5th of September 2024, 15th of October 2024, and the extraordinary council meeting on the 29th of October 2024 as detailed in the minute book 2024-25.
Can I put we defer 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, no information has been sent out.
We've got the accounts on all the minutes.
Accounts for what?
Item 6 and 7.
But it's minutes then, because none of us have received them.
That's what I've just said, we've got the accounts, not the minutes.
Right, so can we defer them?
We can defer the minutes one. Yes, obviously.
7, committee meetings? No, can we defer that?
Sorry, it's run by the chair and Keith's got something to ask. Keith?
Yes, with regard to the minutes, there was also a meeting, an extraordinary meeting on the 10th of September. That's not being included on the agenda.
You just, sorry, I'll just repeat what you said there because they probably didn't hear you.
Yeah.
So, Councillor Fern just said there was a meeting, an extraordinary meeting on the 10th. Was that?
10th of September.
I can't remember, but I'll look into it. And if you need, I'll add it.
Was it an extraordinary or was it the
Yes,
public meeting?
Extraordinary one.
Did you discuss the AGAR and the Lakeside?
It's the one from last week. AGAR was last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what was the date? Sorry.
10th of September.
I'll look into it.
But he wanted it to be
Yeah,
denied.
yeah.
We asked why minutes are not getting put out.
We've had some difficulties this month. It does look like it, things are improving, and they will be going forward. They'll be done. So to approve the accounts, is that correct? Yeah. So defer the
6 and 7.
6. We'll defer 6 first. Vote to defer 6. And vote to defer 7. Okay, number 8, accounts for payments. To confirm the payments of accounts for August and September 2024. I vote to approve. I propose. I'll second it. All for to move them.
When will they go in on
All those against? Abstentions? Item number 10, grants and donations. To consider a request for the Prince of Wales Hospice for a grant of £500. Councillor, 9, income, to review the council's income for August and September 2024. Right, reviewed. Do we call this? Okay. Propose it. All for? Against? And then the abstentions. Item 10, grants and donations. To consider a request from the Prince of Wales Hospice for a grant of £500. Councillor Conway has been asked to speak on their behalf, is that right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Basically, these guys come to my coffee morning.
Can you use the microphone, please, Kev?
Okay, you can. That's all.
These guys come to my coffee morning, and what they're doing, they're trying to raise money. It's all charity, and they're all funded. But they're trying to raise money for reclining seats outside at bed for the patients. Because they go there for palliative care, some in the life care as well. These chairs are special, the recliners, but you know, they put them in different positions. And being a stroke survivor, I was paralysed for 3 months, so I know how vital these are. Also, I've had my brother in here who died, so with palliative care, so not only that, the mobile, they wheel them outside as well, which is invaluable. Now, when I was there with my brother, there was a woman there, 60-year-old, her husband, 65-year-old, they'd been parted, husband was dying, and she had to stay there all night in the have a reclining chair, so that's what they want it for basically. So, you know, to make things more comfortable. And they're after 14 altogether, but they've got plenty of match funding. But you know what it's like when you're funding, when you apply for funding, they keep saying, who else has funded it? So basically that's what they want.
Yeah, so would you like to propose that we...
I propose that we have the grant it, yes.
Yeah, have we got a seconder for
I'll
that?
second that.
No, anybody to make it? So all for approving the grant to the Prince of Wales Hospice?
Unanimous, Chair.
Thank you.
Item 11, to approve the terms of reference for the Environment Action Group.
Can I? Sorry, Chair. You got them all. When I dropped them all.
That's my fault, sorry.
I think you've got a generic one, I know.
Yeah. Bear with me a second, Chair. Sorry.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, Andrew did drop his papers. There we go.
I didn't knock them, I picked them up and I just mixed them up a bit.
But to be fair, they only did them yesterday afternoon.
Yeah. Have you seen these?
What?
Yeah.
Have you seen? Nobody's seen this.
They only did them yesterday afternoon,
If it's box standard terms,
Nobody's
it's not a
signed.
problem. If it's always...
They only did them yesterday afternoon, I tried to send them out.
Yeah. I can sign them up if that's in there.
Yeah, apologies, Chair. Sorry. So the proposed terms of reference for the Environmental Action Group would be that the remit of the group is to discuss environmental issues facing the council and to make recommendations to council. It's recommended that the action group report to full council. That the membership consists of voluntarily of councillors, staff members and members of the public. Public membership to be advertised. That the group meet quarterly for a period of 12 months to be reviewed if necessary.
So can I just ask, when you've said anything environmental, I'm guessing that means absolutely anything and everything, so solar powered, litter, anything like electric points.
Everything, yeah.
Solar panels.
Yeah, but I'm also thinking more like
The passive water park.
water park, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm happy to approve them subject to them being sent out and everybody review.
Yeah, they need to send that to our councillors.
Sorry, what my idea as well, we're going to suggest 6 main topics and give them a timescale to prepare them to bring to council. Not to get them already done with, obviously, because we're planning that, but we'll come to council with these 6 topics, and so yeah, we get on with that.
Can I just check, will those six topics be determined by the action group
Well, yeah,
when it first meets?
Yeah, well, so these are our 6 main topics, you know, a
That-
timescale and get it on preparation for it.
That can be written into the terms of reference, Chair, if
Yeah.
if need be. So, to discuss environmental issues and make recommendations to council and to
To full council, Kev.
to full council, yeah, to come up with 6 action points,
Yeah.
including time frames to report to
But
council.
when we first meet, we'll suggest 6 items, bring it to council, you'll say yes or no on that. We'll have a timescale on getting it to, you know, like the solar panels, are going to take 12 months to fit in, aren't they? But it only take 3 months to get to prepare things.
So can I propose that we, what's the word, approve them subject to us get these sent out and read and no issues back by an email, do I want to do that? Good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So that's the proposal. Have we got a second? Oh, Ted, do you want to propose
I'll
that?
propose it, yeah.
A seconder? Yeah. All for? All against?
No abstentions.
No abstentions, yeah. Financial regulations, the standing orders and code of conduct to review and adopt the council's financial regulations, standing orders and the code of conduct. This was deferred from, well, it was
Deferred, sorry, yes, this was deferred from the annual council meeting in May, Chair. Since then, the Policy and Planning Committee has reviewed the standing orders, but there was some question as to the remit of that committee. So I would suggest that it just be reviewed now and approved by the by full council. Obviously, councillors have had these 3 documents back in May.
No,
so.
excuse me, these weren't adopted in May.
We've already adopted them, so we.
Sorry,
But
Chair, no,
they
they weren't.
come to council a couple of weeks ago and we said, well, I've not seen no
Can I just clarify?
financial regulations.
No, yeah, these were provided to members in May before the annual council meeting. The council resolved to defer the item.
Then they've come back up to council
Yes.
with more alterations and we've asked questions. I've not received any new code of conduct and financial regulations.
The code of conduct and financial regulations are exactly as they were in May. But
We said that about standing orders, but they weren't.
Standing orders have changed.
Yeah,
Back to what they were.
no, there's more to it.
Councillor.
Yeah, well, I'd just like to clarify which standing orders are we talking about. The ones in May or the ones that were adopted at the Policy Planning and Staffing Committee in August?
The ones that were proposed at the Policy Planning Staff Committee, so yourself have seen them.
Yeah,
I know you've seen them because you had them in the end of the week.
And I asked questions about
And you've said
about
it
the
wasn't-
standing orders, not about the financial regulations. The standing orders are questioned.
We've not changed them, have we?
Yeah, you have changed standing
No
orders.
financial regulations, we've not changed financial regulations.
So what happened with standing orders?
We've not changed.
When, you can't change standing orders.
And that's why we're voting on it now.
I can, we deferred it to find the answers out. Did you get an answer, Andrew?
Yes, so the answer to the question was, can the Policy and Planning Committee approve these? We said we're not sure we're going to check, however, we've brought them back to full
We brought them back
council
to council just
to cover it.
to negate the need
to
for
get
that.
the need for it.
So the question put to you last time, Andrew, in council was standing orders. They can't be changed. It is not a policy.
No,
They did year before.
no, you said
No,
it-
sorry, yeah, sorry, just if I may, Chair, just to clarify, yeah, no, this is for the town council to approve the standing orders. This would negate any decision made by any committee.
If I remember correctly, our argument was that the Policy and Planning Committee cannot vote to change the standing orders. That particular one had to come back to council. Andrew said he would check, but to negate actually doing all that, we've just brought it back to council on the changes that were suggested.
In twi-
Are these,
The one what we-
These are back to the
to the original
original ones, the ones that weren't changed last year. Yeah.
Well, changed them.
We don't know.
The council.
Well,
The council changed last year. So stop. Last question and we'll move progress.
So we-
Yeah, it's not correct to say they've gone back to the old
I
ones.
can't hear you.
Oh, right.
You want something?
It's not correct to say they've gone.
Is it on?
You are?
It's not correct to say. It's not correct to say that it's gone back to the old standing orders. It's the changed ones with a few amendments.
So, when I was first a councillor under the so-called independence, there was a set of standing orders. Then this council took over in 21, 22 was it?
23.
23, sorry. The standing orders were changed.
By,
The council must have
no,
been.
it
The
won't
council,
change by
The council
council.
must have changed them.
the council ratified them on their annual governance meeting. So what we've done is we've gone back to the standing orders that were pre-23, basically, that we've run for years.
Well, these are ones shaking and they're not
I
that.
can't hear you.
Can you, Keith?
Right, I've got a copy of the ones that were amended at the Policy Planning and Staffing Committee, and they're not the 2022 standing orders.
They are very, very, more or less because I just got pasting it out with it.
Oh, they're different.
No, they're not. We said
Anyway, to move progress, I propose that we adopt the council financial regulations, standing orders and code of conduct. All for? I need a second,
I'll
sorry.
second it.
So is this?
Yes, all this is for. Against? Abstentions? So item 13, public question time. To receive questions from members of the public and to receive any reports from community meetings. Kevin, I think you want to say something here first. You've asked me.
Mate, I want to clear something up. On social media this week, some absolute ridiculous comments coming out by a so-called community.
Can we not start saying so-called, just the facts, please?
No, that's what they call themselves, a community group.
I'm just saying by saying things like so-called, it can be seen as being antagonistic. Can we just?
Have you seen what they put?
I don't look on social
Can I
media.
clarify what was put?
Can we just let
Can you finish?
Councillor Conway finish and then we'll come back, Maxine?
Please.
Go on, Kev.
There was an accusation at the Halloween party that a banner was damaged. This was totally wrong, it was not damaged. In fact, the banner itself was dangerous. As you know, I've come up here on my scooter a couple of times. Alright, but it's very funny for you laughing at disabled. When I went back to my scooter, it blew up and slapped me in the face. So on Wednesday, when we're trimming up for an Halloween party, I asked a member of the coffee group if they could secure the sign, which he did. And the banner for the Halloween was actually placed above it, higher up, tied higher up.
Are you listening to this rubbish?
Maxine, can we
Absolute
just
rubbish, vandalism
Can
from
we let him-
councillors and
excuse me,
stood waving
Maxine,
in front of it.
can we let him say and then you can come
Right,
back?
Chair, can
please?
I just come in? Again, she said vandalism. She said she's got proof. I want to see that proof. Because I have got proof that
Right,
it
gone
wasn't
to
vandalised.
Twitter, please.
And she actually came up and ripped that sign off and threw it in the 8 bins. That's vandalism. And that's trespassing. She's not accounted, she shouldn't be there.
She's a member of the public.
She hasn't got the right
Maxine,
to take
so-
signs off.
Can you please come back to that in a, please?
It's all over Facebook, you can see what they did.
There's pictures before and after, Maxine.
No, there isn't.
Yes,
Carol,
there is.
I'm telling
T,
you
T,
now.
can we
Now I'm
just
telling
come to
you,
you?
it's vandalism, and I've already phoned police, and I'm taking it further. You have no right to touch community group stuff.
It
So,
wasn't touched.
It's, all it is just pure evilness because you cannot cope with people being better than you.
excuse me, can I just say, so if you reported to police, there's not a lot we can really say about the matter then?
No, it's not.
Okay? T,
Can I just say, we placed that board
It
up
wasn't
gently.
damaged. I
They
went,
were tie wrapped up in black tie
no,
wraps.
it was not.
And he put the black tie wrap on
No,
her
don't
banner.
lie.
can I have a point of order, please?
Eyes on standing orders,
We've got
Chair, one
photographs.
person
We've
speaking.
got
Yeah.
photographs.
If it's
We've got
photographs,
photographs, we've got video
Can I
evidence.
speak,
There's complaints on
please?
either side.
So, excuse me, so there's complaints on either side, so we can't discuss that, it's going to be moved on. I'm not saying you have, I'm not saying who has, I'm saying there's complaints in, so we need to deal with it through the complaints process.
And it
That's,
will put up gently.
as I've just said, there's a complaints process on, to be ongoing.
So I can't speak that she can.
You've just spoken. And Councillor Conway had his say.
There were no damage whatsoever, and when she couldn't get any joy, she blamed Jason for it.
No, I did not.
No.
I've not mentioned
And,
Jason one bit. Do not keep lying about me.
Can we please stop this, please? If it comes to it, I know there's a lot of people to ask a lot of questions. If it comes to it, I'll end up stopping the public question part and get into a row. Any other, so Jason's got his hand up there.
I asked a question earlier on in relation to what legal act the meeting was carried out under. You said it was the Public Bodies Act of 1960. You carried out an exclusion, point number 3 on the agenda. Can you confirm when the resolution was to have that exclusion? As per section 1 of the Public Bodies Act.
So it was when it was approved to have it.
So prior to having any exclusion of press and public on a meeting under the Local Bodies Act of 1960, it requires a resolution of the council to confirm the reasoning behind why it's an exclusion.
The resolution was made as in item 3 on the agenda.
You can't make a resolution outside of the public meeting for that purpose. The resolution has to be prior to the exclusion.
Noted. Next question, please. Anybody's got anything? Kathy at the back.
Yeah, obviously it was in exclusion regarding the lakeside. The reason that things were changed to have your meeting in exclusion and then come back into the public so that you could give the public an update on what was voted or agreed in that meeting. Can you actually update
So
us
I can
on
give you
that?
an update that the council has approved the lease of the lakeside and the contract and the terms and conditions of the contract. Is to run a family fun pub cafe in the lakeside. Obviously contracts are not signed yet, so I can't tell you who, but you can all make your own assumptions on that matter.
And can I ask why Club Terrace has gone into a separate exclusion and not in the exclusion at the beginning?
So yeah, I can explain that. So it was me who requested that.
Because we won't be able, we're going to have to now wait while December for an update on what was actually discussed after we've left, because you've not put a public question time for us to come back in after exclusion.
So the reason I asked for the first one to go at the beginning is I was aware that this was going to be a very heavy meeting. As you all know, when you get lots of stuff all at once, you end up getting a bit of brain fog and this, so I thought it's best to split it. We did agree as a council that we would hold some of the exclusions at the end for staff, for public safety type reasons, public and council safety. So that's why it's been split into two, so we know the first one will be very hotly debated, it would take some time, and then we come back to normal council to do the normal council business, and then back into exclusion for the other items, which again, some of them may be very heavy going.
Can I just say on that, Jason's correct, it didn't come to council for resolution, so council didn't pass it.
Noted. Jason, anything? No, sorry, the gentleman at the back had your hand up first. He did.
Similar sort of question really, because I've just come for the item 17, Sandygate, which has also been excluded. So when will we receive any information about what's discussed there? Are we not able to go back in at the end of...
So regarding yourself, because I know that's what it's about, you can be informed immediately after the meeting.
Right, so I can hang about?
You can hang about, or we can phone you up or whatever you prefer to do.
Yeah. Cheers.
Okay. Maxine?
So, going back to community groups,
I just want to highlight a few things. When this council came into council, our community group was hounded about charging people. Parents were questioned. Councillors said not allowed to do it, or you'd have to leave either leave room or pay for the room. But yet now I see that you've got two community groups charging, one run by a councillor and one run by somebody else who are charging, but yet you stipulated to us that we weren't allowed to charge for our community group.
I don't know when you were stipulated, but if you remember the motion, which was the previous council, is we will provide services for a not-for-profit. If you are charging a small fee to cover a few little costs.
That's not what we got told. We got told, and they told us that we was not allowed to charge anything. And they went and asked the parents of that toddler group to make sure.
Who did? I'm
not naming names because it's going further.
As far as I'm aware, that is not the case. If you've been told that, then that, as far as I'm aware, that was wrong information.
Well, I've always been led to believe that.
Yeah, a couple of quid here or there for covering your minimum cost.
If it's free, the room's free.
Yeah.
If you are charging, the room
that's what we
free.
was told, but
That's
yet
what
we seem to have gone against it off certain things.
Yeah.
I've always been led to believe that.
So I can go back because Jim Kenyon approved the room hire for us for the playgroup 3-4 years ago, probably 3 years. As long as you are not covering for profit, and it is just
you
room
was the
hire.
one what told us just ask for donations, don't charge. You was the one.
Well, no, you can ask. So we asked for £2, but that £2 not per
But
person.
you told us we weren't allowed.
No,
you told us we weren't allowed to charge. I mean, we didn't charge anyway. So the person who went round the parents got a shock. But that's not the point. You told us. We was told that if we charged, we would not be able to have that room.
I personally told you that you could.
You were the one that said just ask for donations.
So to clarify things and to move progress, am I right in saying, Claire, that as long as it is not for profit, so don't be charging 20 quid a kid.
Well, are they supposed to feed these kids?
Hang on, Tim, I'm just saying.
It's not that, it's the point I'm making. That certain people are able to charge because they know certain people.
I always thought you could do as long as you wasn't making profits, as long as you were just covering the basic costs, helping out. Paying for sweets or paying, I thought that was allowed, as long as you're not making profit.
No, I was told I couldn't.
I've been told different.
Andrew, I've sent a few emails and you're not responding to emails. I'd like some answers because that misleading public. That one goes straight back to Fitzwilliam.
So, Tim, Jason had his hand up, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so sorry, it's linked to what? It's linked to that, then I'll come back to you.
I just want to say, she charges £2 per family, right? That Becca puts a right spread on it. It's all healthy food for them. I live a lot of my own money into that, don't I, Becca? And she does.
I'm not disputing
She's not
that.
making no profit.
What I'm trying to say is we got bullied.
Profit.
I'm not saying that.
Well,
I'm not saying that.
so-
I'm just saying that I was bullified and I was investigated by
Well,
this
pull him up
council.
then, he's there smirking.
No.
Oh.
Can we please stop it so only one, standing orders, only one person talks at a time? I think we've clarified the situation now. We've clarified the situation now, so we need to move on. So Jason, you had your hand up?
Again, going back to the exclusion of press and public and point 4, which I agree with point 4, I think it's the right thing. But can the council confirm that you complied with financial regulations?
Yes.
14.3.
Yes.
Can you confirm when the public consultation was?
There was a meeting held, public called a meeting, and it was it was about the AGAR and about the test. That's public consultation.
That's not public consultation.
Are we going to have public consultation?
Right, so public consultation needs to give prior notice of that consultation to members of the electorate. It can't just be random on the back of the AGAR meeting, and I think the clerk should be able to clarify public consultation needs prior notice.
The wording of the regulation, Chair, is
Adequate.
Adequate. We deem that as adequate.
Okay, that's fine. And then the the reasoning behind the resolution, there's strict criteria as to what a resolution can be passed off for exclusion. Can you just confirm what reasoning was given, under which criteria was the exclusion approved under the resolution?
We'll get back to you on that. It is in our standing orders where we do say if it's a complex question, send it up front. If it isn't, then you can receive
I can't send it up front because the meeting, the resolution has to take part as part of the meeting, so I can't send the question up front. And you, councillors who have approved that resolution, should know the reasoning behind that resolution.
We know the reason behind the resolution.
So what is the criteria given?
So it says we'll come back to you on that. Tina?
Can I just ask why certain councillors are advertising things that are going off in South Kirby and not things that are going off here? Or
I have family in South Kirby. I have family all over there. I'll advertise
Water
everywhere.
car, what's going
Who said
down
you?
there when you needed money.
I've advertised everywhere. I've got right.
So,
Can I have that one?
Carol? No. Kathy, sorry.
So, obviously, you're going to be discussing Club Terrace in exclusion, and I would imagine that you're going to be taking a vote on that. So, you're saying that we won't get that information until probably the next meeting. So, are you basically tonight signing a deal?
It hasn't been discussed yet, Chair, so I
Hasn't been
can't
discussed.
preempt it.
Hasn't been discussed yet.
But
Maxine?
you had a meeting last week in exclusion.
Yes. Which was to receive information.
Which was to receive information from the agent that is marketing Club Terrace. So all that information you will have discussed in that meeting.
Yeah.
So can you be fully transparent now to tell us what you are planning discussing in exclusion?
Agent says we can't discuss it.
Sorry?
The agent says we cannot discuss it. It is
Who says?
the agent. He says it is business sensitive and we cannot discuss it.
But the thing is, it's the public, the preset payers that actually own Club Terrace.
So before there is an actual vote on actual signing of contracts, we will have to go to public consultation because it's selling council assets.
Right, you could have said that, but in the next, probably
So
either in December or January, you'll be bringing this back.
At some, I'm not giving a time scale, but yes, at some point it will come back because it's actually selling public assets. Before we, am I right, Andrew? It would have to come back to be consulted with the public first.
Because that's what you could have just said. You could have just said there's more. It isn't going to.
There may be a vote, but it won't be signing a contract saying it's going. This is what we're doing. Blah blah blah.
Can you make sure there's leaflets put in every one of them
It will
houses
be.
that keep mold?
Yeah.
Right. Can I just ask? Not last meeting for Friends of Hemsworth Walk Park, but the one before. I walked down and I saw Tracy Patterson's plaque on. So, firstly, nobody told me. Secondly, nobody told the families. I had to get in touch with them all, and they are extremely upset that I had been there.
So I'm going to come to you back on that, Maxine. This is the honest truth because it wasn't finished. There was the plans. So the family told. I mean, she's not here now. She just nipped out. But this is true as far as I believe. The family said that they wanted to know when it was done. The plaque was put on, and it was planned to put a little rose flower garden around it. And then all of a sudden, all this kicked off on Facebook before the flower garden could be done and it was finished. And then the family would have been informed at the time.
So,
and the family didn't want to.
So Mrs. Mead, she just wanted to come and have a quiet look.
Yeah, they wanted to. Yeah.
But it's the Patsons what are upset.
As I said, it wasn't finished at the time. It was planned to put a little flower garden around it. and then things go up on Facebook and I do believe that Becca has been in touch with them.
She should have been in touch with him from the start.
She has been, and she was going to get it once the flower garden was done. Tina, did you put your hand up?
Oh, just about Club Terrace. I just want to know, with the estate agent coming in, all this Club Terrace where certain councillors have been visiting estate agent and all that, none of these know out about it.
So all I can say is that since I've been chaired, I've been open. I don't believe all these councillors have been meeting with them.
Someone have met.
She means the estate agent means, yeah. But
You mate us.
I mean, I think these can say that every time that there's been some
What
information.
about council houses?
Excuse me, can I just say what we said? We don't know what's going to happen.
We don't want it.
We don't know what's going to happen. So we'll take this last question now, and then move on.
I've got one question and then just a comment to councillors, if that's all right.
Okay.
Yeah. Next question. I'm not going to comment on Club Terrace for this part of the question, but Sandygate, so the floodlights, and Bank Street, I'm just a little bit confused as to why they're in exclusion, just pure and simply because the floodlights, you're essentially considering whether you're going to look at doing that or not. Surely that would have been beneficial for the public to be part of that conversation. And if you're considering selling Bank Street, I suspect that's just to consider at this stage. It's not to accept an offer, in which case, again, why isn't it being discussed in front of the public?
So, Sandygate, yes, you're right. Ordinarily, the purchasing of floodlights would be a public. There'd be nothing confidential about that.
What's the reason then?
There is an element of this that is confidential. Obviously, I can't reveal at this stage. Hence why the whole item has to go into exclusion. Yeah, that's it. Essentially, yeah.
So regard to Club Terrace, because we'll be discussing. Bank Street. Regard to Bank Street, because we'll be discussing money and this and that and the other. However, again, it is a public asset, so it will have to come out to consultation.
Yeah, no, I'm just asking because again, under the Public Bodies Act, neither of them two fall into the requirement. They don't. Genuinely, if you read the policy, you have to read it out if you want. They do not fit into the criteria. There is two specific criteria to which a public body can have an exclusion, and they don't fit into it. You're discussing putting floodlights up. There's no confidential nature there.
There is.
Well,
there is.
Okay, so then you should explain to the public there's a confidential nature. You haven't, and then Bank Street again. You're not considering bids or anything like that. You are just pure and simply considering selling land. So I'm confused. Selling the property. So I'm confused why they're in there.
That the council are considering information which could prejudice.
Okay. And where's the resolution to cover off 16, 17 and 18, which should have been at the beginning of the meeting, to make them a valid exclusion?
It's item 14.
Item 14.
You can't do a resolution within exclusion.
No, that's right. So item 14 is not an exclusion. We read it out before exclusion, which I'm just about to read out now.
It's to exclude.
Yeah, it's to exclude the public. That's the resolution.
That's the decision's already made at that point. So where's the actual resolution where you're explaining to councillors in front of the public, as per the Public Bodies Act, the reason behind the resolution, and all councillors must agree to that resolution. I didn't hear it for the first public exclusion, and I haven't heard it for this one.
Can I just, it did come to council because of our trouble in meetings and that, to move everything. Exclusion were done before the meeting.
Yeah.
So we decided to do the exclusion after the meeting, so everybody had gone and there were no turmoil between councillors.
I don't disagree with that at all. I'm just talking about, so item 1, apologies, item 2, declaration, item 3, exclusion. That's a predetermined exclusion, and it shouldn't be a predetermined exclusion. It should be a resolution for all council members to consider whether they believe that item needs excluding.
I did send an email in to put that in.
You can put seconds of those if you like, Chair. Item 14.
Okay, noted. So item 14, we're moving on.
And then just comment that what to make the councillors. I raised a formal complaint with the clerk some weeks ago now, possibly in 2 months. I had a meeting with the clerk where we discussed where the clerk requested further details, and I set out within the initial complaint, as per your complaint procedure, the terms of reference I wish the complaint to be dealt with, and that's my prerogative as the complaintee, as per your policies. The time frame in which it should be dealt with, again, as per the complaints procedure, and I also elected that at the next meeting of full council, that council members be notified of that complaint, all of which are all as per the terms of your complaints procedure. I've not heard that the complaint's been made aware to all councillors as per that reference. I had a meeting with the clerk to which he advised me that he potentially may not be able to deal with the complaint within the time frame set out in your policies. And I advised him at that point, if that's the case, then your policy states you should be contacting me via email, notifying me of the extension time you would like to deal with that, and for me to accept that. That is as per your complaints process. I've not had that email, we're now out of time. I also asked within that email and the meeting I had with the clerk if the clerk was conflicted, to which the clerk wasn't sure and was going to seek clarity and come back to me. So I'm outside of that complaints procedure time, and on the email I did put that please accept this as a notice of intended legal action, to which all councillors should be made aware. Are councillors aware of pending legal action and a complaint?
No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I did mention it at the meeting last week. Oh, no, I did, sorry, I apologise for nodding. Noted. So I'd like to move on. So can I put to the vote, just to appease people? Exclusion of present public. Members of the public and press to be excluded from a consideration of business of a confidential nature as per the Public Bodies Admissions to Meetings Act 1960. I propose to exclusion. Have we got a seconder? All for? All against? Abstentions? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.